Good evening. We're joined now by Columbia student athletes Cecilia Collins, Kitty Henderson, and Riley Weiss, along with head coach Megan Griffith. We'll start with some opening comments from Coach Griffith, followed by questions from the media. Coach Griffith, would you please make an opening statement?
Credit to Harvard. Really thought their seniors led them today, and they played great. It was a back and forth game. It was a shootout in moments, a little bit too much for my liking, but this is what you want in March. Talk about two great teams battling for a championship. We've never seen Ivy League women's basketball look like this before. We've had great teams, but we have two teams that both should be in the tournament right now. And for us, we're outright Ivy League regular season champions. We won the best mid-major conference. We were number one in the best mid-major conference in America. We went 3-1 in regular season versus Harvard and Princeton. We have one quad one win. We're 3-2 in quad two and 0 losses outside of that. And, battle tested, I would say, we beat the MAC champions Ball State, who's going to be in the NCAA tournament. We defeated the ASUN champions Florida Gulf Coast, who's going to be in the NCAA tournament. Played on the road against tough teams like Indiana, Duke, and Richmond. And we're a proven winning team in March. 2 seasons ago, we go to the WNIT championship game, lose to Kansas at Kansas in front of all of Kansas fans. NCAA first four last year, and I just know that this program every year we just keep elevating to the next thing, and that's the most important thing. We're playing in a great conference right now, full of winners, full of great players, and I'm confident we're going to be selected. It's not even a conversation in my mind. We're going to the NCAA tournament. I'm excited to have 2 teams at least represented next weekend and keep this thing moving. We got a lot of games to win in March, though.
Yep. Thank you, Coach. We'll now open it up to questions from the media for the Columbia student athletes. Right in front here.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Jen Hadfield with the Next. For any of you, Meg mentioned it being a shootout, and during the game I was thinking back to that last Harvard game where it was, I think in the teens at halftime. What do you think was working well for you guys offensively to be able to kind of unlock and execute against this team?
Yeah, I think just following the game plan was what was working for us. Not sure why we went away from it at times, but yeah, just following the game plan, knowing the shots that we want to shoot, and when we did that, we hit them. So, yeah.
Okay, more questions for the student athletes? We have a question in the back here.
Doug Feinberg, the Associated Press. Riley, that last shot, just I'm guessing it felt good for your hand when it went out. What were your thoughts when it left?
The play was for me. I was ready to shoot it, and yeah. And I'll take that shot every time with Rye shooting it too.
Great look.
Okay, more questions. We have one in front.
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. Well, just to follow up on that, were you guys surprised they didn't foul and let you get that shot, Riley?
I'm not really sure what their plan was, but I got the shot, and yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, we have a question over here in the back.
And Columbia Spectator. Kitty, you found yourself throughout 4 years in a lot of big moments like this, obviously in Cody. What have you learned that you can kind of pass on to the younger players on the team?
Yeah, no, I think in games like this, you have to keep your head. I don't think I did that great today, but like Coach G said, today was a great March game. They're a great team. We're a great team. I really believe we should both be in the tournament. So, yeah, I'm confident in that, but yeah.
Okay, more questions for the student athletes. We have one.
Hi, Jillian Prunty with the Columbia Daily Spectator. Cece, when you checked out for the few minutes left in the fourth, it was to a huge ovation. What does it mean to you to have the crowd behind you like that today? And I guess this is for everybody.
Yeah, we're just super grateful for the community that they were able to, come support here at Brown. We wouldn't be where we are without them. And like I said, we're just so grateful for them. They've been following us all season, and that kind of it gets us going, and we're just so grateful to have them here.
Okay, any more questions for the student athletes? We have one more in the back.
Hi, Miles Herzenhorn with the Harvard Crimson. What was the game plan going in for defending Hermione Turner, and how did you feel you guys executed on that front today?
Yeah, I mean, the game plan, I mean, I wouldn't speak too much about the game plan, but I mean, just crowding her, I mean, obviously she's a great player, respect to her. And I think, you know, at times we didn't do what we wanted. Like, we didn't force her into the shots that we wanted. So credit to her, she's a great player. But again, like, great team. Yeah, I'm not going to speak too much about our game plan, but yeah.
Okay, any more questions? Thank you. We'll now send the student athletes back to the locker room. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep coach here. Okay, questions for Coach Griffith? Jen, in front.
Hey, Meg, what'd you see from your perspective on that last shot from Riley? Did it look good from your angle? And, you know, what were you thinking as it was in the air?
I mean, I think it's a great shot for a great shooter that's trying to figure out how to be a star. And I am super proud of Riley. I thought she had a great response today. You know, we all knew she was shooting that shot. Who didn't, right? I mean, we all knew that here. And they knew it too. And she still got the shot off, and it was still a great look. And that's just a credit to the IQ of her and her teammates and Susie Rafferty to get her open. So, yeah, I mean, you know, to me, every time she shoots it, I think it's in. So that one wasn't any different.
And then just one more real quick. You know, early in the game, the stats kind of across the board, very evenly matched in every category. And then we kind of started to see some separation in different areas. How do you feel like you were able to impose your will in certain spots? And, you know, how did you kind of have trouble kind of pushing back on theirs in other places?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like, second chance points, that was a big one. We had 19 offensive rebounds, 22 second chance points. In the paint, you know, that we just, I don't know what we were doing defensively, but, you know, a lot of the curls that we just were, like, miscommunicating on guard to guard. And, you know, I think that even that stretch where Harmony went out of the game because she was in foul trouble in the first half, honestly, we just weren't on the same page. And I don't know if we relaxed in that moment because they just went to, like, their sets and their execution. It was just like, all right, y'all, like, we still got to defend everybody else, right? So, I just think that, honestly, that those points in the paint came from a lot of lack in communication, like I said. I just think there's a lot of defensive errors on our part that led to wide open layups for them. It wasn't even like pounded inside, go to work, number 10 and 40, right? It was like literally layups on the move, catching, cutting. And I do think we let them create too many dead ball situations, tapping the ball out of our hands, right? We're going up. I always talk about carving space and angle rebounding. We didn't angle rebound really well today. We like 50-50 rebounded. And that's just not going to go your way when you got a team that's going to play with a lot of desperation. And I'm sure they would say the same thing about us, right? So I would just say that I think that was the big coin flip for me on both sides, is us executing second chances, but them crushing us in the paint, off cuts.
More questions right in front.
Coach, you've had precious few losses since you've come into this program and taken over the coaching, but when you have had a loss, you have gotten your team typically, I think, to respond really well. And so I'm wondering if there's a silver lining in some way, and that this might even make you guys hungrier when you, yes, absolutely do go into the NCAA tournament.
Most definitely, Steve. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. I'm already ready to play again. So, and they better be too. But the fire that I know this is going to light underneath, especially our two seniors, who I think, you know, this is an emotional game for them. You know, you think about your career, especially a player like Kitty. You know, this would have been her 100th career win, right? That's a big deal. Like, she hasn't lost a lot here, you know, and so there's a lot of pressure on her. She's really carried the load for us this season, and I'm just excited to see what she's going to do when there's that pressure's, like, you know, not on her as much, and she can just play and go win a lot more games down the stretch here. So I'm excited for our response as well.
Right in the middle here.
Bill Koch for the Providence Journal. Coach, you played in the league. You've obviously coached in the league for an extended period. I wonder just how you've seen the league arrive at this point where you could be a three-bid league when this is selected, how these teams have become so competitive all at once.
You know, I think I attribute it, honestly, to a lot of, you know, coaching changes and just, like, youth and energy in, like, you know, you're looking across. The longest tenure coach in our league right now is Mike McLaughlin, and I mean, how long has Mike been in the league? Anybody know? I'm the next. That's scary, right? You got Linda Simino here, who's in her second or third year, second year, right, Linda? Yeah. You know, we got great coaches in the league. Carrie Moore, third-year coach. You know, I know Carrie. Carrie and I both worked at Princeton. We overlapped. You know, you got Carla Berube now in her 5th or 6th year, right? Sorry, I'm missing all these years up, but I just think we've got an injection of coaching, real styles being developed, recruiting is happening at a really high level, and that's what you're seeing, right? You see a player, Abby Shue, Caitlin Davis, Harmony Turner, Kitty Henderson, like these are pros. You're looking at WNBA, pros, professional, overseas. You know, you just so much talent in the league right now, and that was just lacking when I played, quite frankly. You know, I thought I was a good player, but these are players. And I'm just really proud that we can continue to bring great product into our league. And, you know, I know 1 through 8, we're just going to keep elevating. And that's the goal. That's the real goal, is that all of us, 1 through 8, continue to elevate to put us in this position every single year.
Any more questions? Right over here.
Megan Gower, her hoop stats coach, kind of off of that, you know, you guys are a tournament team, Harvard a tournament team, Princeton right there. How does this help prepare you for what you're going to see next weekend?
Well, you know, what I love about games like this is, like, they're like guts games, right? But they're also, like, we know each other. So it's, like, personal, you know? You saw it. It was super chippy out there. They're, like, I mean, they're literally clobbering each other, like, peeling themselves off the ground, almost getting in fights. Like, are you kidding me? This is amazing. This is what I love about this, because guess what? It's not going to be as personal with any other team that we face in the next round. So now we get the emotions out of it, and now we're just playing basketball. Really good basketball. Any 3 of us against the next opponent, right? But, like, you got to be kidding me. Like, that's like, this was so worth it. This game and even their game and our game yesterday, I mean, that's great TV right there, you know? Entertainment, but high-level, skilled basketball.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Right over here.
Hey, Megan. Doug Farnberg, DAP. Just to piggyback on the question about the 3 teams, I mean, you've been around this league for a while. There was never discussion of getting 3 teams in the NCAA tournament, and now that's been a talking point all year, teams from the media. How big is that for this league, whether you get 2 on tomorrow night or 3, but to have that conversation happening where no other mid-majors get in discussion of having 3 and how far this league has come?
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, it's been like the consistency piece, like, of all year, right? This hasn't been like a new discussion, whereas like last year, it was kind of a newer discussion. The year before, it was definitely new. I remember in February, we were like, come on, y'all, like, let's go. We got this momentum. And all last year, it was the 2 of us. Now all this year, it's been the 3 of us, right? So I just think, like, the more exposure we can get around the league, the more we can push out the product. It's only going to be great things for us moving forward, especially in such a small conference. What are the smallest conference in America in Division I? You know, to have 3 out of your 8 teams, that's a really high percentage that are bidding for spots in the tournament right now. So, you know, again, I am really proud of where we've been able to come, but I don't think this is like where we end. You know, I think we just got to keep pushing, and I don't know what that means for us, but I don't see a reason why we can't consider ourselves a power conference.
Okay, thank you.